I just texted him. It's interesting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh, great. Hey, Patrick.
Hello, people.
Welcome.
Hi.
It is 7:03. Should we go live?
Sure.
Okay. We're starting. We are missing Janine Cisco and Jean Osofsky, but the rest of us are here. And Annie is here. Since we don't have public, we will not have public comment again. So I guess the first thing we need to do is approve the minutes from 2020, January 21, 2025.
Can I make 2 nits?
Yes. Because I like to pick nits.
Sorry. One of them, well, there's 3. One of them is in section 6 committees, A, 3 in the hole. Ms. Malazzi engaged in a protracted discussion in regard, not regards.
It's with regard, actually, not in regard.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second one is you need a period on the next page, right above 4 in the hole, after the words does not control. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
And down below D policy review, I really struggled with this second to last sentence. I finally figured it out. A policy as to in-library intranasal naloxone use was also discussed. Never mind. I understand it now. I was going to rewrite it, but it doesn't need to be written. I get it now. That was it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a little clunky, but it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
And section 3, approval of prior minutes. The board minutes were from January something, not December. So January,
Wait, what?
page 1,
Yeah.
section 3, approval of prior minutes. Yada. Board minutes from 12/17/24 needs to be changed to.
No, I think that is correct.
No, because it was the January meeting, we were approving December's minutes.
Oh, right.
You're right.
Man, February sucks. All right.
February 6th.
That's the theme. Okay.
Okay. So any other changes? Any other thoughts?
I do. Who wrote them?
Ethan.
Me.
Then,
Then he should sign them.
do
Really?
We can start doing that. No problem.
I don't think we usually sign them, but I'm okay with that. We can.
Do you mean in the absence of our normal secretary, Ted?
We should know who took the minutes at every meeting.
Okay.
That's true.
So
That is true.
down at the bottom, just
Just put your name.
make a note. Yeah, okay.
Submitted by, yeah.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
You're welcome.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve these as amended?
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Kiri seconding, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Bills. There was a typo on the final cap. It didn't, the internally to the document, the D didn't get changed to an F, but so noted.
Wait a minute, where are you?
In the file named cap BOT 250218F. Internally, it still says 250218D. Even though I checked the numbers are correct.
You didn't get the new one?
Did
This-
when did
This is the new one.
this was the new one?
So the new one,
The new one just failed to update the number at the top
Inside,
right at
yeah.
the top right from D to F. Does that mean that do I understand this correctly that the reason that we have an F, or are these drafts? Do you start with A and B and C?
D is for draft. You only get one copy of that. F is the final that you.
Ah, it's D and F. Got
Yeah.
it. Draft and final. So this is final. It just and the total is 18091.58. It just it needs to be changed to
Correct.
indicate final at the top right.
Right,
Wait a
so we
minute,
just,
wait a minute.
wait a minute.
Whoa. Patrick, tell me what the final number is at the bottom.
I see 18091.58.
That's the wrong one. There is a 250218F. You may not have it, but
okay, hold on.
wait, 1809158, this is the copy that I just made. Wait,
Yeah.
it says D2 though.
Uh-huh,
What's the,
wait a minute. Let's come back to it, okay? I don't want to hold up your meeting, but I need to check because I sent Deanne, I thought, the latest copy, which was today's revision.
it says F on the file. It does say F on the file.
the file name says F.
But
What is your final number? Okay, let's, can we, yeah, we'll circle back around to this. Let's skip over Ted and we'll return to you in 5 minutes. I'll go quick. I don't really have a president's report other than I'd like to, firmly, agree with Deanne that we have to get our in-service training in before, before we're penalized for that. So I don't know what the state of that is currently, but I'm just,
I owe mine. But
Yeah,
I
I
told
owe
her I
mine
would
too.
do it.
okay, just a couple hours.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
And when do we have to do the sexual harassment training?
Oh, that's not by the end of March, that's sometimes
That's
this year.
Sometime
I
by
think
the
it's
end of the
calendar
year, okay,
yeah.
that's just, I
So
always
wait,
prefer to get it in.
For last year, for this year? Did y'all do it last year?
I
Okay,
think
so
we
then
all did it
Yeah,
last
do
year.
it.
everybody
We're
has to do
supposed
it.
to do it if you get a certificate from somewhere else,
Mhm.
just give us that.
But the one you
just
sent was really
annually.
good. Yeah, it was, the one
Yeah.
you sent was really fun.
The New York State one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
The
good.
New York City, I think it's like. the
I think that's New York
one.
City, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I do.
They change it every year too, so it keeps it exciting.
I'm surprised we have to do it anymore. I mean, everything's, everything's up for grabs these days,
Well,
literally.
It may be that in a couple of months, we don't have to do it, but,
I guess New York State can require it.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to, as the president, remind everybody that you really gotta do that. I have not much else to say other than woo. I'm not gonna be here next month for the meeting. Ethan suggested that perhaps we reschedule it. Can we roll the meeting back a week, do it earlier? I don't know whether that would work for anybody or if that's smart to do that.
It's my kid's spring break, so I don't know what our plan is, so it might be better for me to roll it back. I was gonna also suggest that, because Claire, you had mentioned to me that you would be away for the next meeting.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm leaving I'm flying that day.
So do March 4th. week before?
March 11th.
11.
Oh, do March 11th. That's fine for me.
That's fine for me.
Okay,
Ditto.
let's notify absolutely everybody.
For April, I won't be here the 15th. That's the following month because that's our spring break for Pine Plains. So
Okay,
if we
going
want to look
away.
at that one as well. I mean, if I'm not here, I'm not here. It doesn't matter, but I don't know if that's affecting anybody else either.
Okay, let's take that up at the next meeting,
Okay, that's fine.
and see whether that works. Okay,
So this one will be the 11th, is that correct?
yes.
March 11th.
Ted, is that a problem for you?
I haven't,
Sorry, you're looking.
I'm right.
Okay.
What did you do?
Sorry.
We're talking about rescheduling the March meeting. Moving it to the 11th,
It's still a Tuesday.
still a Tuesday.
I'm fine with it.
It
Okay.
makes getting financials in a little hard because we don't get them until,
Wow. Oh,
Or-
yeah.
so, I
Mhm.
mean, we may not be able to get you the financials a week before or even,
Even
Okay.
that day.
or it may be just a few, yeah, it may be
That
that day.
day, that's fine.
Cause some of,
Okay,
they don't start coming in until the 4th or the, after that. Some are available
Okay.
first, but some is 4th and just.
How about the 18th?
the 18th is the day we're trying to get away from. I'm gonna be away, I'm flying that day.
All right, let's give it a shot for the 11th. then.
Let's give it a shot and we can figure out, we can vote some interim,
We'll have
always
your numbers,
forget.
it just may be there.
Yeah.
Just be kind
Yeah,
of hot off the press, as it were.
yeah, okay, we'll work. Okay. Okay, are you ready to talk numbers?
Not really.
Okay,
You have, yeah, I don't know. I revised it today, but somehow I sent out the wrong one.
Uh,
It's basically correct. Why don't you?
can you email me the new file?
Oh, sure. I can email you the correct copy, paper copy. How's? Annie, I guess I can scan it and send it, right, Annie?
Yeah, do you want me to go off
Ye-
for a minute and I can
Yeah.
talk him through it?
Yes,
All
why
right,
don't you do that?
What's the amount, Ted, that we're supposed to be looking at for the final cap bot?
Hmm?
What's the final?
What's the final number?
Cap, not the correct one, the
The
final,
final number,
yes.
$18,216.58.
Okay,
No,
so
we don't have
it's
that.
just we're a little off,
Yeah,
okay,
a little off.
All right, I will walk him through it in the back.
okay,
Thank
great,
you.
thank you.
Amy's gonna go
Um,
help you in the back, or she's gonna go offline here.
Annie, call me.
She's gonna call you in a sec.
Okay.
Mute yourself.
Why don't you mute
Yeah, she
yourself?
said mute yourself, okay?
Is he muting?
I don't know. Did you mute, Ted?
Wait a minute, one thing at a time. I'm in a totally different place.
Okay.
All right, wait a minute. Ah,
You're
let's-
muted
yeah,
now,
okay.
Ted.
Good.
Thanks. Jean's not here. Are you gonna give her a report
Yes,
or?
she just wanted to let you know that she had contributed the money, I think it was $800 from the Friends to
For
the,
the book?
for the Young Writers Club.
Oh, okay,
So the
wonderful.
Young Writers Group, she pays for, they pay for that. So she's gave us the check. We haven't deposited it yet, but
Okay,
we've got it.
great. And then we have the director's report. I gotta
Okay.
find that file again. This is my problem. I keep all my windows open and then I get lost. Okay, let's walk through your report.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Ted and Annie for all their help in getting all the statistics for that New York State report together.
Yep,
Because we are
thank
going
you.
to have to change
Did-
the way we do our analysis or collections.
Oh, okay,
So I'm working on that.
okay.
Um,
Was Alexis had to get
Alexis
involved
helped
too?
too. She helped me for an hour and a half when
Yeah.
it was, yes, and it's her as well. We got it in on Wednesday though, which was good because I had meetings with the Mid Hudson and Dutchess, the DCLA on Friday, so it was really good to have that all done.
Mhm.
But we will need to change the way they change it yearly, and so it becomes you collect it one way and then they start asking you different things, and so you can't. It takes a lot of time to pull the data out that they want.
Mhm.
Well, anyway,
God bless them.
yeah. But I'm hopefully meeting with a guy who does his in 2 hours, and he says he will give me his sheet. So I was like, okay.
Great.
I got the Berkshire Taconic grant submitted on Saturday when it was
Wonderful.
due. We have another interesting grant that's due on Friday that would possibly pay for transportation. So we could get transportation from the schools to the
Okay.
after school club, the
Great.
kids club. We'll see.
Great.
That would be wonderful.
Yes.
So they will do one a month from each school unless we chip in the cost of it.
Right.
Okay.
So we could do with the school district will pay for 1 month, twice a month
Right.
from each school. Or once for each school, once a month, but this we could do maybe weekly. I have to find out prices.
Deanne, I'm not following you. I'm looking at your director's report
Oh, yeah,
and I'm listening to you, but I don't know where we are in the report.
we're still talking on grants, under grants, the very first thing.
I slid into,
I submitted the Berkshire Taconic. I've got, the next one is the YOU drop-in center grant, which is right underneath, Berkshire Taconic. Right under the heading on the very first page.
Oh, you went above. Sorry.
Grant.
yeah.
Okay.
So the drop-in center grant, that's the one that will pay for
Yes.
the transportation?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
minimum is 10,000 on that.
Mhm.
I think it goes up to 20. But
Okay.
that would be awesome. So I've got to get going on that one. The other thing with grants, we've paid for the 1 year of Grant Station. It was $118 or something like that. So that will be,
Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
That's it? I would
yeah.
have thought it would be
Yeah.
more.
Well, it's a sale. So it was
Great.
$80 off.
Great.
Okay, so the New York State Annual Report, that's the next one we're on. That was submitted. Alexis helped me amazingly and helped me. I learned from her and was able to correct some errors on the next day when other things cropped up. So
Great.
staff development, we're still doing the Digital Equity Academy. I'm not happy with it, but we're gonna keep going with it. Jordan, they're doing a lot of good trainings. I'm trying to get staff to do as many as we can, and that's always good. Patron letters, I included 2. One was just a patron just emailed me her compliments, and then the other one I had asked specifically if she would write a letter to send on to the legislature because it's Library Advocacy Month, basically. But they're doing their budget, and it always helps to have patrons send how they feel about that. So I've included those. I was very proud of the staff for the job we've been doing for that.
Can I pause you before we do that? I know
Sure.
we skipped day, but it is the month. Can we send a letter on behalf of the board?
Yes, anytime. They're still doing it.
Can we
Yes.
send a letter on on behalf of the board,
Yeah.
board members?
To the,
Yeah.
yes, okay, yeah. Did y'all fill out those, I sent you that link for the online form? So
Yep.
that was in the
Okay,
newsletter
yeah.
too, so that's a
Okay.
good thing to do. Let's see,
Yeah,
okay,
if you.
Hang on. Hang on.
Yes, we're hanging.
Right.
Ethan, are you proposing that the trustees send a letter to the state on behalf of, what the hell is it called? Library Week, Library Month,
Yeah.
Library Advocacy Month. Is that what you're
Yeah.
proposing?
Here, I'm gonna rephrase it. Deanne, would you happily write a letter and put our name on it and send it in? Or because I don't think that any of us have the bandwidth to do it.
I'm okay writing the
If
letter.
you, oh, okay.
Or somebody, but I don't want
I
to-
thought I was going to do it as the secretary. I just
That would
want
be
to,
great.
I just
Oh.
think we need to understand what we're
Yes, what
doing,
we're asking,
who's
yes.
who's doing it, and who could send me a template. I'm happy to do it.
I don't know if there's a template.
Well, what
Yeah,
is
we can
this
find
letter
out.
supposed to say?
It's supposed to say libraries are the best thing ever.
The value of the library is,
There is a template from Nyla
was there?
that
Okay.
got sent, but I just don't remember.
When?
I can look for it tomorrow and send it to you, Patrick.
Thank
Okay.
you. I'll look also, but if you looked as with me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah,
And then I will execute that this week,
in our behalf, yes,
and I will copy you all.
thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I don't have
Okay,
the bandwidth. I'm already half asleep. I
You're
apologize.
Madrid
all
already.
good.
I'm in
Okay.
Madrid already, yeah.
Okay, any questions on any of that?
No, that's all great. I'm sorry the Digital Equity Academy is not what you were hoping it would be.
Well, I don't know. It's just not. We'll see if it gets any better. Okay, so new programs. We've got Sean North has been including the opportunity for some of their other residents that come, that stay at their place
Mhm.
to provide workshops for the library. And it would just be $50 and we would provide all the things that they would need for the workshops. Now, some of they will propose these when they apply for the residency, and some of them are way beyond what we can do, but some of them are very simple. And so I get to select which ones we want to
Great.
do, and so I've agreed to that. And I think it'll be some for kids, some for adults. It's all a mix. So I'm really excited about that.
That's great,
Yeah.
actually.
And that gives the artist the opportunity to learn how to run a workshop. Some of them may not have teaching
And interact
experience.
with the town.
Right. We had our first Pine Plains Young Journalist Group meeting tonight. We have one.
Could we go back to that
Sean North?
the Sean North thing sounds great. What do you expect will happen with that? Is that something that I mean, like in terms of timing, is this are you in have you had merely initial discussions on this, or is it where is this program?
We've had initial discussions and we are going to move ahead with it once they have filled out their residence. They've chosen their residence for this coming year, which I think is next month. So we will see who they've chosen, and then from within that group, we'll pick out which workshops we can do.
They're here most of the summer, is that
Mhm.
right?
Like it'll be probably, I think it's 6 months.
April through October, I'm on their website.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they'll we could do one monthly from them.
Yeah, it might be, yeah.
Okay, could I just? I like this idea a lot. A lot. If you could just maybe keep us informed as to how the conversations are going, and what what gets decided.
Sure.
It sounds really great. I know some local artists who might want to participate. I know some local amateurs that might want to participate.
Great.
Thank you.
Let's see. So we're still doing the managing conflict consciously. Seed library, I've already started collecting seeds for that. If you have any more, let me know. We're supposed to meet with the end of life care for today, but that meeting,
That question, do you want me just to buy some and give them to you?
if you want, whatever. We're
I have
taking
some at
seeds.
home that might be good, but also I could also like go and, to Agway and
Sure.
buy a couple of packets.
Whatever you want to do. We got some from Hudson Seed Company. They donated like they did last year, and it cost us $5 postage, and that's all it is. But they
Is there anything you're looking for? Exotics, edibles, flowers?
I guess a mix would be nice, whatever.
Copy that.
So long as it's not on the invasive species list. So,
Got
so we have to reschedule our end of life care seminar series meeting till another future date. Our strength and balance class with Alicia started on Monday, 2 Mondays ago. She had 3 people the first time, none on the second time, but we didn't have it this time. But
Okay.
it's a good class. I mean, it's for strength and balance
So
for
what is on Mondays at what time?
Monday 10.
Okay, because I mentioned it to Aunt B and she might be interested in coming Monday at 10.
Yeah, Monday at 10.
She's become everybody's Aunt Phoebe.
Let's see. Yes, I'm still recruiting teen board members for Legit 2025.
Great.
And I included that in the grant proposal for the next Berkshire Taconic.
Mhm.
Let's see, if you know any of the teens that want to be on it, I've got 3 seniors, I've got 1 junior, I'm hoping a second junior, I may have a freshman. And I need, we're trying to fill out in between there. Okay, silent
Is
book
it
club.
only open to high school?
You think about William?
Yeah, I mean, he's only 11, but he's in 7th grade.
He can try if he'd like. Yeah, absolutely.
check
That'd be worth it.
3rd grade.
Let's see, where are we? Oh, yeah, silent book club. We haven't had anybody come. People keep calling, but nobody's not showed up. English lessons attendance is increasing, and I was going to talk with Janine. We have requested to be able to use the upstairs office space for language because we were slammed the other
Oh,
night.
Oh, thank you.
That's great.
And Brian has given us, he said he was going to talk to the town board about us using that space. Thank you.
Okay,
Because it's not, it is not cleaned out. The cabinets in there that were taken, that are being
Uh-huh.
stored from here are ours, he said, and so we are responsible for getting rid of them.
okay.
We can do whatever we want to, give them away, we can take them to the
Which one?
restore, huh?
Yeah, I can look at them and see if Willards could take them.
Okay.
If you can't get rid of them, if you can get rid of them.
Alexis had said that Bobby Lee had wanted them, but he didn't come and get them or anything, so I don't know. Thank you.
Is Bobby Lee still around?
Mhm.
Maybe we could re-ask.
And if not, Deanne, could you just text me a picture of them? And that way.
I have to get in there, I don't have the keys.
Oh, okay.
I found something
Oh.
labeled 3rd floor. I haven't had a chance to test it.
Oh, okay, I thought they took the keys away from us.
I thought so too.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I might have one.
Let's see, English, okay, so. Yeah, okay, so we're working on that, so hopefully at the next town meeting, I hope to be able to go and explain to them what we need, because we need just a space where people, we'll put our extra table that we have in the basement
Uh-huh,
up there.
Okay.
And then, we don't, other organizations use that space, so there's always gonna be stuff around there, but we can at least get a place in the center.
Yeah,
And the friends could actually use that table space for their book sale too, I believe.
okay, that's great.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons is going great, board game night is going great too. Story times attendance are steady. We won't have it tomorrow, but we've been getting some good kids. After school kids club is hit and miss. Our Tuesdays are still okay, and every other day is kind of getting weird. I mean, it's 2 or 3, sometimes 4, sometimes none. So, but I'm hoping that bus, if we can possibly get a bus, that would solve our
Would
problem.
I guess, would they be willing to do it if we could pay for it every 4 days a week? Would
The
we
bus
want that?
I
Yeah,
don't know. That's a good question.
So is it a private bus company?
It would be a private, we could pay for private, or, I mean, that's a good question. We could possibly use the funds to pay. But I know they're hurting for bus drivers and
Yeah.
buses, so I don't
It's just
know.
confusing because like Eleanor's bus drives right by here every day, but they won't drop her off at a
No.
different stop. So,
They're very rigid about it.
Yeah.
I had screaming fights with them
Yeah.
about it.
it's just odd that.
So, yeah.
So I think we'd have to use a private bus if we wanted to do that. I don't know, but I just
Okay.
found out that we could use it. One of the librarians at the DCLA meeting was involved in writing this grant proposal, or setting up this grant. She said you could use it for transportation, and I was like, private buses would be fine. Even vans, I've got private vans around here that do that. Okay, so on Tuesdays, I've we had a wonderful craft or a wonderful art project on last Tuesday. It was, or 2 Tuesdays ago. So it was cardboard. We've got these kits that you can cut out cardboard and people made all sorts of dragons
right
and
up there.
yeah, houses.
Those are
And
wonderful.
it was fun. It goes together, but it took up a lot of room with the language classes. So we are moving it upstairs where, if we have something like that again, I'm gonna ask them, and they said fine to use the upstairs area because it would be
Okay.
better for everybody. Fiber knots is going great. Scavenger hunts are going awesome. Book displays we're getting books taken out, book displays, yeah. Let's see, our shared virtual programs are February 27th with the Reading Rainbow documentary, Butterfly in the Sky, and then March 12th, Keepers of the Light, which are interesting. Any questions on the programs? Okay.
Nope, sounds good.
Collection development, our Hoopla use has increased, and since I've written this, they were filling it out with AI, created stuff. And so they weren't telling you when it was created, when it was
What
AI.
does that mean?
There are videos and books that are written by AI now, and they are putting it
Ah.
as ebooks and things like that, but they don't tell you. And so it's been a big controversy
I've
and
been noticing in the catalog that there's a whole lot more of this stuff that just shows up like on any search.
so
And it tends to show up near the top of the list instead of at the back end.
What's
Yeah.
the benefit to that? And for them, it's just cheaper?
it's content, it's filling out their catalog, it's cheaper. Yeah, absolutely cheaper.
It's clickbait. It's like, like everything else, it's
Huh.
clickbait. So if they get you to follow the link into Hoopla or say borrow it, and
But it is content and you will find more AI generated stuff, music,
Mhm.
anything that if they can
Mhm.
produce it more cheaply using AI, they will do it. So,
Oh.
but did you read, so I haven't, I won't put you on spot. I'll have to go and see what Hoopla has done, but I think they're going to do a better job of marking it as AI. So it's not
Okay.
going to be as,
And then hopefully Mid Hudson can figure out a way to filter some of it out.
they don't
Of
do
the
Hoopla.
catalog?
No.
Oh, they don't do
Ours,
Hoopla at all?
no, we're
Okay.
totally separate, yeah.
It's integrated, but they don't have any authority to catalog or not beyond. We have this resource, go to Hoopla to get it, if you
Okay.
have Hoopla.
Okay,
And Canopy's the same.
but so they wouldn't filter it out if it starts becoming obvious that it's AI generated content?
And I'm not sure how their
Mhm.
catalog is structured on the back
Okay.
end. I don't know how, if Hoopla is providing the records to them,
Okay.
if they're not providing an AI field,
Mhm.
then I would imagine.
Okay, well, it'd be interesting to follow up on that. Is the drive in numbers related to this AI content?
No,
It's
it is totally
Okay.
audiobooks. It's
Sorry,
totally
could be able to
audiobooks.
just-
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. The Hoopla use it's gone, I know you'll see in the statistics, it's 75% of Hoopla use is audiobooks, is people
Mhm.
getting audiobooks. Because you can get them there where you might not be able to get them
Yeah.
on Mid Hudson.
sure.
Okay. Oh, so I am looking at Blackstone as an alternative to Hoopla, but some libraries have moved to that, and but I have
Within
gotten.
the system or,
So when we contract, Hoopla and Canopy are separate from Mid Hudson, so we contract directly with them, isn't that right? Yeah, so Mid Hudson doesn't have anything to do with
okay,
that, so we could at any time move our
Okay.
system and just put it up on our website,
okay,
and people would grab it from there. But
Okay.
Blackstone only does Blackstone publications, so
Mhm.
we'll have to, it may not get too bad, but I know a lot of libraries are struggling with their Hoopla budgets because you can't really control
right,
it, and the
Yeah.
fees are increasing. We already talked about trustee education. So y'all have a lot of choices to do for trustee education to
Right.
fulfill your 2 hours. Let's see, on Mid Hudson's Library Directors Meeting Report, we when we joined ALA, it was a good thing because we are given the political environment, given the budgetary whatever's going on, it's very important that they are advocating for us, all libraries up there at not only the Capitol, the New York State, but at the legislature, at the
Right.
US Capitol.
Right.
Our library is now part of a new Mid-Hudson app for your phone that you can use. We've not launched it yet, but we will be able to get your barcode off your app. You'll be able to do a lot of stuff off the app instead of doing it online on your
Right.
computer. We do need to get a new scanner because we haven't determined if our scanner can do 2D, but we're not sure it can.
It said it can, the problem is it's unreliable,
Okay.
so I think in the end. it
Maybe
might be
that it's
better
just
to get-
time
Okay.
to.
Well, Mid-Hudson has one that they have vetted, and so we'll go ahead and order it from
Okay.
within the
Right.
Mid-Hudson. I don't know how much it is, but we'll get one of those. But it'll be a really cool thing because as part of the road trip that Mid-Hudson's doing, you'll be able to use a map to go from different library to library. I mean, check them off. It's going to be
Great.
really, really cool. So we're part of the pilot. I think there's 13 or 14 libraries that have started rolling this out. So we'll be one of those.
Okay, great.
So our January statistics were good. I mistyped this. We've had 31% increase in programs from last year and a 25% increase in attendance. So that was a typo on my end, but we're doing well on attendance and programs. And as I said at the back end of that, the Hoopla's, all of you, the Hoopla use, we're up 23% of that, and 75% of that is audiobooks. Most of our circulation is audiobooks. And we're still toying with the idea of moving our collections from, we're running out of room for books. Like I can't, and I'm having trouble with Baker and Taylor anyway, because every time I order something, it's back ordered. So, but whenever we get new books, we're displaying them at the front, but in order to put them in our fiction section and stuff, we're running out of room in our fiction section for adult fiction. So we kind of want to move the fiction and swap out the fiction and the nonfiction, which is over in there. So we'll just swap out
Okay.
the one that gets the wall and put those on into the center and move the center into the wall because there's more room over there. But that's a long-term project. We're not ready for that yet. Oh yeah, we'll go on facilities on the next one for interviews and stuff, but
I'm willing to help.
okay, thank
Because
you.
I used to do that professionally.
That'd be, I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could probably do it in a couple of days.
Wonderful.
Any questions on statistics? Any questions on programs?
While we're on that topic, we had said that we were gonna go forward with getting Paul Mays.
He's available.
We still have the credit.
We just
with
have to
him.
figure out what we want to ask him and when he can come. So I don't want to waste
Yeah,
the trip.
I would use that as an opportunity or as a catalyst to get Paul involved again, instead of you guys moving everything and maybe moving it again.
That's a good thought.
So let me see when he's available to come down, what works, if he's down here on another trip and he can tag us, tag us onto the trip.
Yeah,
I can email him.
that would be awesome.
Okay. And then. So that's your report.
For directors.
And then do we want to circle back and do Ted and get the finances out of the way?
I apologize for the mix-up.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
don't know what. But anyway,
We want it to be
It'll be,
correct.
um,
Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
What's the assessment fee from Mid-Hudson? Fifth from the bottom.
Yeah.
That's their
To be part-
annual kind of participation charge. We typically pay that.
Only annual though, right? That's
Yeah, it's not. like
not sure about that.
And I think it's,
Is it
Quarterly.
I think it's
Quarterly?
what I
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a
And it-
question.
It gets, yeah,
No, when you're ready, you were going to say something
Oh,
about the,
I was just gonna say it gets adjusted, annually, it's, but I think it's worth it. Cause it's everything we borrow from other libraries is kind of taken care of with that.
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I just was curious about does it get split up evenly between every library or is it
It's
like a per?
proportionally.
It's proportional.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
thanks. I was going to ask about Jeremiah Jones Studio. Is that for, that figure 1140, is that for a person or for supplies or both?
That is his fee for doing art lessons every week. So that's 10, it's $114 per session. And that's what
So that's a quarter.
that was
Sessions.
10 weeks. Yeah, I'm sorry.
10 sessions.
Yes, 10 sessions.
10 sessions in a month.
No. This is each week. He does 4 a week. Oh, sorry, 4 a month. He does it once a week every Tuesday. He's the one that's the most popular thing that brings people into the library.
I guess what I'm just trying to understand. So we pay him $1,140 a month.
No.
No.
No. That is 3 months. A little over 3 months of session. So once a week, he comes here. That's a bill. He included 10 weeks of art lessons in that invoice.
Got it.
Since September, probably.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Anybody else?
I got nothing. Should we make a motion to accept this?
Motion to approve cap 250218F
Second.
in the amount of $18,216.58.
Now I'll second.
Allison seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
I didn't hear who made the motion.
Ethan,
Ethan,
Thank you.
did we look at the expense reports that, did we have any questions?
I did.
Okay,
I'm just noting that the equipment costs seem high because we are 1 month into the year and we have spent 16.7% of our budget. Could you just tell us what's behind that?
Furniture.
bought the new table, right?
Yeah, that was the table.
That was the new table.
Okay. And I guess I don't mind also pointing out that our total expenses are only 6.21%, which is good because I think my math, if expenses, I mean, I know they run different month to month, but 1/12 is 8.3%. I'm not a math guy, so when I do some math, I'm very proud of myself. So that's good.
So we're in control.
We're under budget on our expenses.
Yes.
And I had another question. When we're ready to go to the income report, I have a question on the income report.
Did we have other questions on the expenses? Nope, we're going to income. What's your question?
My question is, what is the fine for $61.27?
People have paid even though they're not required to.
People pay a fine that we don't fine people, but they pay anyway.
It's really confusing because they get either an email or in this case, the confusion happens when they get an email. If they've had something overdue for too long, the way the system is structured, they get an email that says you'll be billed for a replacement. And trying to convey to patrons that for the most part, that really only applies if you don't return the item. When you return the item, at least from a fine-free library, that bill should come off.
Mhm.
A lot of patrons don't call us to ask about that. We try to put out the word, and one of the projects you and I have is we really want
To rewrite the wording of that.
yeah, to clarify that and to make sure everybody has heard and is aware that fine-free does also mean like bill-free. A lot of people still seem to
So,
think,
so you would not, if someone just didn't return a book, you would never charge them for replacement costs?
I think, have to fine
I
tune
think
some of that because
We do.
We do.
And we do.
I
One of them
think-
was a replacement book for a book, if I remember correctly.
one was an
it was.
audiobook that was $40.
Yeah,
But they get charged, I think
Mm.
it's, oh. Can't remember. I think the overdue is like a week, and then after a certain amount of overdue, it becomes billed, so that they can't use their card or anything anymore.
right,
Unless it was like a $6 book.
right.
I don't know if there have been any official talks about
It would be good
when
to,
replacement comes in.
it would be good to clarify this,
Make a note of that.
because, you know, I know, like, from my own experience, we didn't charge fines, we did charge replacement. It was a way of adding a fee
Mhm.
to encourage the return,
Yeah.
but ended up, you know, could cause all sorts of problems, but
Mhm.
it ended up, you know, you could communicate to them, just return the material, and the fine will go away.
Yeah, the emails, the ones that come out from Pine Plains at least,
Mm.
in the email alert that goes out, it does say the bill may be removed when you return the item.
Right.
We have had some trouble with patrons not seeming to read what they get.
Mhm. No, that's, you're
so-
always gonna get that.
Yeah,
So-
we also, I think we have a decent click rate for people actually opening the emails, but again, it's not
Yeah.
like 100%. So a lot of people will see, oh, you've been billed, and assume because you
Right.
can pay online.
Or they might show up at another library and be told they have a bill of $600 or $60,
Mhm.
and they might just rather pay it
Yeah,
to move forward. Okay, so we don't expect to get fines, but apparently they show up from time to time. That's good.
Okay,
There was a $17 fee that, well, there was a 17, one of the patrons paid $17 because there was damage to a book.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was that one.
that
There
one.
was a $40 audiobook too that was
yeah,
something
I
like
think that
that.
was recently. I think that's what it was.
Is
Okay.
Mid Hudson as a system fine free or is it individual library?
It's individual
Choice.
libraries, yeah.
Could you guess the percentage of libraries within the 66 in Mid Hudson that are fine free?
That are fine free,
Yeah,
probably 80%.
okay.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
A vast majority.
Yes.
it's a majority
Yeah.
of the libraries.
Hmm. Just curious.
and I had one other question. On the income report, what is the difference between the 625 for BOT fundraising and the 1134.98 for donations personal?
So we had to put a time on when we considered the fundraising for BOT to occur. So that was, in that right, Ted, we decided like in December.
Well, the BOT was a specific program that the Board of Trustees wanted. You had that postcard program.
Mhm.
So we kind of kept the BOT funding if it was specifically marked. We
Because
put
of
it
the
to BOT.
postcard. Okay,
Personal, somebody gives $25, it's personal.
So I just want to understand it. So when if something was marked, how if a donation came in, how was it marked such that you knew it should be assigned to BOT fundraising?
Usually somewhere on the check
They would
So-
write on the check, they would say,
or the envelope. I don't see the envelopes, so,
So
but
it
somewhere
was,
it's marked.
it was more like the timetable. Some people did include the card or the letter that they received in their check, or they wrote something, but some people, this was more like in January, we started getting, the money was still coming in January, so we just had, for the limit of the time that the campaign was going, which was like December, like, because it was an end of year thing, then we set December as anything that came in December as BOT, a direct result of the BOT fundraising campaign. And then afterwards, we had some little things coming in towards the middle of January. The things just started coming in. I don't know. It didn't seem to be in response to any campaign. They were just making it. I don't know. Because we kept saying, in our newsletter or whatever, you can campaign. I don't know. That's just a way
Hey,
we kind
we'll
of.
take their money if they
Yeah.
send it.
Does
I
that make
think,
sense?
I think a lot of people were sending in the notes, it was like I saw the postcard, here's a check, it was stuff like that. So they were doing it pretty deliberately.
Okay. Thank you.
It's nice that we're still getting, that's a lot of money that rolled in this month. That's good, or January. Okay. Can we need to take a vote to accept these expense and income reports? Can someone make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Kiri's
accept
making
these.
the motion,
Second,
Ethan seconding, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay. Okay, so let's do facilities.
Okay.
That's the second half of Deanne's report.
Okay, I wanted to tell Janine the town's been doing a great job of plowing and sanding the driveway. It's been great. So I just want to make a note of that. We've had 2 inquiries into the personnel to the youth program manager. I had 1 phone interview and I had a kind of a personal interview with somebody. They'll see if they want to go for it more. But when I looked at the other Connecticut libraries in Massachusetts, it's cost money to
To
post
post.
there. So I need y'all's approval to get we need a budget. And I talked to some other librarians and they were like, Indeed is a great place to put it in, like, but that costs money and it's $150 a month. It's $100 a month for the Connecticut. It's about $100 a month for the Massachusetts libraries to post on their
Indeed, you're
associations.
gonna get a lot of nonsense. So if the minute you put it on Connecticut, Indeed may pick it up anyway and they won't charge you for it.
Okay.
But
And Indeed is really hard to control the
Yeah.
budgeting aspect of
Oh,
it. So even
okay.
if you put, you're only willing to spend $150, the next thing you know, it's $150 every week.
Yeah.
And it just keeps snowballing.
Okay.
So I will say I've had a lot of, like, no matter how many times you change it and track it, it
Yeah.
tends to get out of control.
Okay.
So I'm not in favor of Indeed, but they do pick stuff up from other places.
Okay.
What about, do we have a LinkedIn?
I don't think so.
So what if we were to make a LinkedIn account and post it on LinkedIn?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that works from the
Yeah, as an
job
organization.
posting, but we could look into it. Sure.
Do we need a motion to put it on the Connecticut bulletin board? I'm okay, I would be okay with,
I put
doing
it
that.
on NYLA and I put it on ALA.
Okay.
So I put it on the place that we are free, that we have
That are
nurses
free.
and are free. So but to do it in Connecticut was just gonna cost $100.
Do we think that that's, you said people say it's a value? I mean, we are, we're clinging to Connecticut
I know.
by our fingernails, so is that not?
the $100 is for 1 month
Mhm.
on. I'll make that motion to spend $100 to post the youth program manager job on the Connecticut Library bulletin board site.
I'll second.
Both Kiri and Allison seconded that, and I, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're all in favor of that.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
I know you made a motion and I appreciate that for the extra camera, but we don't need it because that one right over
Okay.
there shows it just fine. He showed me how to zoom in on it. But
Okay.
the problem now is I don't know when to go back.
Okay.
Because I have no idea.
So we may never know.
We may never know.
Okay.
But
My question beyond that was, is there any place in the library that's not sufficiently covered?
the back room is not covered. I can see who goes in there, but I cannot see what goes on in the back room.
You mean the
The
staff?
fiction,
Okay,
the fiction section and nonfiction, the adult section, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that far corner in particular, because that we'll see over
Mm.
into the middle. And I think it might catch a little of like the large print,
Mhm.
but there's nothing that,
Mm-mm,
unlike the classics.
not in that back end though.
Or do you think that
I would like, yeah, that would be great.
if we
could-
get another camera?
We already made a motion
for
We
it,
made a
so- Alright.
motion to get another camera, so we could set one up.
All right.
If that
And
gives you
cover
full
something.
coverage.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Let's see, the table, this reading nook is doing really, really well. There, people are using that table all the time, so that's really well. So I told you about the cabinets in the storage room upstairs, so we can figure out something to do about those. The sooner the better. The sooner we can get that room used for languages, the better, because we
Sure.
are getting crowded out
Sure.
with. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Willards has, if they don't want them, they have a network of people they could throw it out there as just free stuff, come and get it.
Right.
So
Okay.
That's. an
We'll
option.
just need to load it and somebody has a
Yeah.
truck or say,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Move
fine.
it yourself.
Mhm.
We'll find out if we have that key or not.
BYOP.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know if that key works or not. Otherwise, we'll
Okay.
have to go and get the key from the town.
Okay.
Okay, so the TV room, the TV in the kids' room is not being used. I want to move it over to above the coffee table area
Uh-huh.
and put slides on it that show
Love it.
upcoming programs and stuff.
Love it.
I'll get my husband to help me.
He
So-
needs something to do.
yeah. A day without internet, where our internet was out last Friday. It was it last Friday or 2/7, I said.
Mm.
It was not our fault. It was not, Rich Harlan came by to figure out what was wrong, if it was wrong with his. We had to get Optimum out here and it took all day long. He finished at 6. It was just a route. It was a modem, the modem. He
Mhm.
fixed them, he replaced the modem. He spent an hour on the phone. The repair guy spent an hour on the phone with Optimum, trying to get Optimum to get back
It's
to him.
always the modem there. They give you really cheap modems and they
Yep.
blow out.
It was the-
I went through probably 10 modems when I lived in Gallatin. Any lightning storm, the modem blew
Yep.
out.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yep.
So Annie and Jordan, we got the books, they were stacked up for that. Because we had a shipment in that day, and then a lot of people came on Saturday, but they got it cleared out really quickly, so I appreciated that.
And that was really almost entirely Jordan.
Jordan, oh, she did a great
Yeah, I really
job.
wanna give her praise. She's really doing an amazing
She
job.
really is doing a
Good,
great job. So cleaning the library, we've all been having to pitch in because Brenda's on vacation for the entire month. I want to thank the crew for everybody doing that, their jobs for that. It's not been easy. We can't wait till she gets back. So the other question on the road trip is the ADA compliance, which we are, except for our inner door, which we don't have electrified, it's not automatic
Right.
now, but I'm gonna talk to the town about it, and I wanted to talk to Janine about this. But if they won't do it, then we can put an doorbell on it and says, ring for service, because
Right.
I have the doorbell.
I think when we we had a heated conversation with them about it. This building is grandfathered so that it doesn't have to be compliant.
That is not legal. They told us it doesn't matter how, so,
I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
merely just,
I know.
I'm merely the messenger. I mean, I've screamed at Warren Raplansky about this at the town
Mhm.
hall.
Yeah.
So I completely agree,
Yeah.
but that's what they said to us, is that this building, and Ray said it as well.
Yep. They said because it was to code and to,
mm,
and because it was earlier than that, they don't feel any need to fix it.
We're going through the same thing at work. We have a 2-story house that's open to the public for tours. It's not handicap accessible in any way. And unless we're doing major renovations, we are under no obligation to upgrade it
change
to
it.
new code. Because code standards change, that doesn't mean that every building is going to change with them.
Mhm.
So unless we were doing major
Right.
repairs or maintenance,
Right.
or I can't imagine if we have to, I think the way they phrased it is if you have to pull a building permit to make changes on the building, then yes, those changes will have to include up to code. But if you're not pulling a building permit to make any changes,
well, all we would need would be an automatic door put on the
Right.
end door.
Yes,
and-
my only point was that I think just consider how we approach it with them,
Right.
because they're not obligated to do it.
Right.
Our point when Claire and I were there was, well, what if someone gets injured? What are we gonna do then?
Right.
So.
That was back when we were talking with
Right.
them about the,
So we have the outer
ramp
one is
and the-
fine, and
yeah.
that one we, that's, I'm happy with that, but, the point was that your building must be ADA compliant. I guess to the extent that it can be, but they were telling me that even old libraries are not exempt from this. So the old buildings that are, they must comply.
So
So we'll
maybe
see.
libraries fall under some kind of
different-
different,
Yeah.
because they're a public,
yeah.
they're a public building.
Maybe we
know.
could ask Rebecca to tell us
Yeah.
where that is stated in such a way that we can discuss it with the town board.
Yeah.
If it is only the fact that the middle door is not electrified, then maybe that's gonna be what we have to work on getting addressed. And whether it's, we have to find the funding for it,
Get a
or
grant
or the town does, we should look for,
Yeah.
and see if we could find a grant for that,
Yeah.
But if the way to satisfy it right now is put a doorbell right there, as long as there's some kind of note that says during business at, like normal, you posted business hours or something, so they're not sitting out there ringing the buzzer thinking they can get in at any time. I think, if we can solve it that way, that's great, but we should really pursue figuring out a way to convince the town to allow us to do that. We do want to be very careful, I think the conversation, we were talking about the ramp, particular. The minute we start redoing those things, the entire building has to be addressed and brought up to code, for ADA compliance. So that's the problem, and why they're gonna keep saying no. Is because the minute you start making some changes,
Mhm.
then they're like, but the shelves are too close to each other, they have to be farther apart, then we have to look at absolutely everything to match the current ADA compliance.
I think the only thing like I said, the only thing we have to worry about is that the inner doors, and we've got a doorbell that'll get us by from that. Let's see, so that will be, so I need to make sure that checklist, we go through the checklist before we start, advertising for the road trip, because we'll get people from all over, hopefully, who come and see the library.
Yeah, are all the libraries participating in that?
All 66.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start going.
And you'll get whoever gets to all of them will get a platinum library card. They're still working on prizes and stuff. And we're gonna be able to, Annie and I talked about it, we're gonna be able to have a contest. I think we're still gonna do that for our stamp that we can put, but they're still trying to figure out what kind of
So-
passport they're gonna have. We don't know
And
yet.
what are the dates? Is it June 1st through the end of the year, or is it?
I don't know what the
Okay.
dates are yet. I don't know. Let's see, old computers. We've got all of the old computers and I think all of them but one are suitable to,
I have
Use-
to see, so wiping them, at least one is corrupted and won't let me wipe it properly.
Yeah.
So that one might have to just go.
Yeah.
I haven't had
That might be, I
time.
have to pull the hard drive.
Yeah, the other ones we can wipe. I believe the one that was corrupted has given us problems right along, so I'm hopeful that the others will be wipeable.
Yeah.
But I haven't had time and room to
I
set
know,
it up.
I know, we're crammed back there.
If you don't have time to do it, and Jake is here for spring break, he could come and do it.
Oh.
So he'll be here in March for 3 weeks. So it's
3 weeks.
yeah, they go a long time. So anyway, he'll be around, and that's something that he loves to do. So
Oh.
If you have other little projects.
if there's something that if you want to wait till then, he can definitely do it for you. So.
Let's see, so we still need to get rid of them though, so we were thinking about either giving them Willow Roots. They'll run Linux. I don't know about Windows 11 too well, do you think?
Windows says they'll run Windows 11. I would not trust Windows
Yeah.
assessments.
So they may be
but-
slow, but they'll run
Right.
10 if somebody,
Yeah, they
you know,
run
we
10
could,
fine.
yeah, they'll run 10 fine. But
Okay.
if you think of ideas of getting rid of them, they're all in my office or they're in the workroom.
Yeah, I can ask about those too.
Okay.
after they get waived.
Okay. I'm still working on VoIP. That is so far down. I'm
Right.
still not getting the answer that I want. So I'm pushing that down. We
Right.
do need malware subscriptions. I did not realize this, but the malware, we've got Malwarebyte on there and it is not automatic. You have to do it manually and I had no idea.
Mhm.
So I would like
Yeah.
get, I personally, we need this automatic one, which is
Yeah.
$69 per unit. I think it's three, it's like a 200, it'd be $200 to get all three of our
Staff
the
computers.
staff computers covered. So
Is that a one-time cost or an annual? cost?
I think
I
it's
believe it's
annual.
annual.
It's annual, but it will run automatically. It does, I think that's what all the other libraries use around here from what Rich was saying. So I need permission to get that.
Is it a particular, is it McAfee? Is it
It's
Norton? Is it-
Malwarebyte. And that's what the libraries are
the-
using. Yeah, it's called I had not heard of it either, but it's
Mhm.
what the libraries use.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Mm.
okay.
Do we need to vote on that?
I need,
I make a motion to approve $200.
it'll be a little bit more than that. So, just, how about 3 seats for malware? I don't know what tax and stuff, we should not have to pay tax, but I don't trust the freeze when they tell you it's
Right.
69, it could be something else. So,
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of Malwarebyte for the library's computers at a price per year not to exceed $300.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
thank you. Okay,
Okay,
that's the end of mine.
I have a question about the vacuum. I don't know what
Oh.
vacuum we have or what Brenda
Want?
suggests, but can you get 3 quotes
Yes.
from her, whatever her,
yeah, give us something to think about.
What was the vacuum thing? Sorry.
The vacuum that we
It's-
have doesn't vacuum, it spreads. So it is the weirdest thing.
Goes the wrong way.
It goes the wrong way. Some things, so we've got these little tiny bits of, I guess, asphalt or something that get into the library and in the carpet and you vacuum and some of them go in, but some of them get shot out the front. It's just
I have a
maddening.
really good vacuum. I'll send you the name of it. It's a Miele.
Oh, yeah, that's
Mm.
the shark will do well.
$400, but it is a really, really good vacuum.
We don't need a great thing. I want one with a longer cord because we don't have a lot of plugs around here. The
Yeah.
ones we have, they're in weird places, but if we had one with a longer cord and a shark would work. This is not hard carpet to keep clean at all.
Mm,
And so just
Okay.
something with a really long cord.
Okay,
So, but we don't need to spend, it's really not that. I know the Miele's are good. Aunt V says they are.
Well, she just got a new Miele dishwasher.
She did.
Which is- Anyway, whatever. She did not.
yeah, just quotes. I don't know if
Okay.
she wants like one of the stick ones would make it easier to, I don't know.
yeah,
Whatever.
whatever's easier to,
I can't
For
believe
her.
she's done it right this long.
Yeah.
Look, she's got.
I don't know, does she bring her own in
I don't
or
believe
she
she
uses
does.
this
No,
one?
she's,
Okay.
it's the one locked in the closet. And it may be the towns. I need to see, as if it's the towns, we can't really do anything about it. But if it's ours,
Well,
We
If
can
it's,
still buy one.
yeah,
yeah.
if it's the towns, we
Okay,
could.
my vacuum is on sale for $279 right now.
Ooh.
How long's the,
That is a really
Is
good
it signed by you? Does that increase the price a little bit?
can you send me a
deal.
link, please?
Send it to you right
Thank you.
Okay. But I think,
And that's it for my facilities report.
okay. So we, at this point, do we have anything to say about marketing or fundraising? It's like the down month for all of everything.
No, but I think we should I need to still work on getting more, going through those lists and getting more of the email addresses and everything, but I think we should think about doing another round prior to the end of the year when everyone, maybe, I don't know when that is, we can figure it out, but whether that's this summer or
Mhm.
what, but I think we should do another round. What do you, how do you guys, when do you time your fundraising?
October,
Oh, it's always at the end of the
it's
year.
always at the end of the year, yeah. So October hits in November because most people are donating in December
Right,
by the end of the year.
right.
Yeah.
And do you recommend only doing it once?
I've asked that question and the answer's always been yes. You want to just do an annual appeal at the end of the year and that way people just kind of out of habit get to remember and get to know that that's your fundraising. And they can't say like, oh, I got something earlier in the year. I probably gave
Right,
then.
right, okay.
where-
So then maybe we just wait, or we do
Mhm.
something else,
Or
or we
we
do an
do an
event.
event.
We do an
yeah.
event, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Is this a time where we can talk about CDs? Because Allison did some research
oh, okay.
and that I think counts as fundraising.
Yeah,
Sure.
I had sent, let's see if I can pull up my email. Yeah, US Bank, kind of came back as what I thought would be the best option. A lot of the banks like Chase and a couple of the others, you have to have a money market account at their bank before you can open a CD. US Bank seemed to have a good option for a money market, which would make just as much sense as a CD because your money wouldn't be locked in it. The money, the only downside is the interest rate could change.
Mhm.
So that just ebbs and flows with the world.
Right.
Whereas a CD you get locked in. It just depends on what direction. And then the other piece of it is that you need 2 co-applicants to sign. That requires giving all of your personal information. So just for you to be aware of that. Even when I open like a Bank of Millbrook account, like even as the business,
Right.
they require everybody's personal information,
Yeah.
who's a signer on the
Mhm.
account.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
whoever would be, whoever would be a signer on the account, I assumed it would be you, Claire and Ted.
Mhm.
You'd have to apply with all of your personal information. So just wanted to make sure I pointed that out so you're not surprised when you go to apply for it.
Social Security, please.
Yeah, exactly. But that was what I kind of came up with. That's a well-known bank, not like a
And that-
little bank out of Alabama that you've never heard of before. So
Right, so what is our current, do you know what the interest rate for our current money market at Bank of Millbrook
Bank of
is?
Millbrook, slow again and see, I think it's listed, I think it's the same for everyone.
And is there any negotiating with the Bank of Millbrook saying we're gonna take our $50,000 and put it at US Bank unless you give us this percentage?
I moved all mine because I was like, what they could offer for a money market even couldn't touch the national banks. And when I
Mhm.
talked to the investment team at the Bank of Millbrook, they were like, we'd love to have you here, but unless you have $500,000 that's gonna stay there, it's not worth the fees. So unfortunately,
Gonna be bad for them.
yeah. Right now their savings accounts are at 0.2%. Which is why I was like,
Yeah.
not worth it,
Okay.
unfortunately. So Ted, I don't know how, I know you wanted to be included in that as well, moving money to a bank outside the Bank of Millbrook.
I know. Have you looked at Ulster Savings Bank?
Ulster Savings Bank, I feel like I did look at it and I can't remember. Their business, they were really great for personal. I feel like their business rates weren't quite as great. They had yes, so minimum balance from money market account, it's tiered. So the highest tier, you have to have $500,000 and it's still only a 2.44% interest rate. So we were
What about
looking,
the CD? The
um,
CD was like, I happen to deal with them, so,
okay. Let's see.
I mean, you can just go right on the site.
Yeah,
Ocean
that's what I'm
Savings
looking
Bank,
at
and they
right
give it to you.
now.
I think a 7-month and a 10-month right now are halfway decent.
I'm not seeing it on their website as far as,
Really?
but again, business and personal are different. So under business, banking. Are you on the website too?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I was trying to quickly look. I'm just not,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing their rates.
yeah, I'm not seeing their rates on there for anything other than the money market.
The smaller banks seem to be less forthcoming with their rates online.
Online, yeah.
Yeah,
you
That
because
has
they
been
have-
a consistent.
They also have less money invested in them, so it all makes
Mhm.
sense.
Greene County Bank, it was the same thing. Bank of Salisbury or Iron, whatever it's called
I
now.
remember, yeah.
That was the same. When I did my research.
Mhm. Yeah, they were, even Bank of Millbrook doesn't really advertise. You have to log into your account to see what your like
What your
rate
rate is.
is.
Okay.
But when I at least when I talked to the Bank of Millbrook, they were not wanting to say it out loud, but saying there's a lot of options that we should explore. And a lot of the CDs, actually, I think they are expecting some back and forth in the market, and so they haven't. The longer CD is actually at a lower interest
Yes.
rate than the
Which
like
is so-
shorter.
Yeah.
So-
Citibank the other day and.
Yeah.
And also at Citibank, you can take it out. You're not locked in.
Yeah, and I thought that was the advantage of
Mm.
going
The
with
high yield.
the US Bank high yield, like the money market, because 3.5% was right about what I think their CD, a 5-month CD was 3.9, so you can't touch it for 5 months or you don't get any of that if we needed to. Not that we're anticipating it, but worst case scenario, if something really happened, you had to pull it out. You can do that, and you can do it in smaller increments. So we could put more in a money market account because
Right.
we can pull it out monthly if
Makes
we
sense.
needed
We
to.
should do that.
Mhm.
What about Capital One, 360?
Capital One, you had to have, I believe that was one of the ones, Capital One and Chase, you had to have a existing bank, like your checking account also had to be with the bank in order to open a money market. They wouldn't just let you open a money market. You have to have the way Chase phrased it is a linked Chase checking account.
What about a CD instead of a money market?
For Chase, the CD, you had to have a linked Chase checking account. US Bank, the one that I had kind of recommended or thought, which of course this was the 29th and the rates may have changed by then.
Mhm.
Although they didn't.
What about,
I've always found the bank, the Capital One 360 isn't really set up for businesses. It's like personal banking. But I could be wrong with that. My co-op used them for a while and it wasn't.
The one for US Bank, you have to maintain, and the other part of it too is the minimum you have to contribute.
Yeah.
US Bank is $50,000 is the daily average. If you drop below $50,000, your interest rate like plummets to like
Yeah.
0.2%. the more you have in there, the higher your interest is, but I can't imagine we're going to have.
Well, I thought when we were talking about this, we would say, we were talking about 10,000 one month and then another 10,000. Build it up as a tier that way.
Yes, we talked about tiering the CDs, so they mature at different times. So, but if we went with a money market account, it's basically just a savings account, so you could pull the money out or put money in at any time. As long as I think it's 25 transactions per month. There's no fee for 25 transactions per month. If you go over that, there would be. And it's a $15 maintenance fee per statement, but that's waived if you keep the daily balance at 10,000 or more. So again, we wouldn't want to go under 50,000 because that would defeat the whole purpose of the 3.5%.
Okay. I think we need to strategize if we're gonna do this. How much we still have to keep at Bank of Millbrook, how much we want to have readily available. So we may want to look at all the account reporting and figure out how we want to adjust this. Because the truth is, if it's making, if we've got 0.2 at Bank of Millbrook, and even if we have 2% at somewhere else, we're still, making more.
A 25, if you put in $25,000 at 4% interest, you're gonna make about $80 back a month,
Right,
which isn't nothing.
yeah.
If we're doubling that, that's $160 a month.
Mhm.
I'm just going based on the account I looked at this morning and like with the numbers. So I think that this month our spend rate, the cap was for what, 170, 18. So it was for 18,000.
yeah.
So if we conservatively say we spend 20,000 a month, I mean, Ted, you'd be able to go back, or we could all, anybody can go back and look at those numbers. What's our like monthly spend rate?
Right.
And then just make sure we have enough plus a buffer in the Bank of Millbrook account, and then it's easy enough to write a check from the Chase account,
Right.
deposit it in, or from the
Right.
US Bank account, deposit it in there. So if we moved it all over, but it's
Right, we have one account we have to keep at Bank of Millbrook, yeah.
Yeah.
But, and then we could have the checking still at Bank of
Mhm.
Millbrook. And then.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I do every day. Like, so I log in and I see what our like daily spend, our weekly spend rate is gonna be, and then I transfer the money as needed
Right.
into another account. And so it's more work to just keep track of and prepare for, as opposed to having all the money in one place and you don't have to worry about it. But the return for it is not nothing. So if everybody wants to think about it, and then we can come up with a strategy and a
Okay.
plan and
I
Okay,
think you need to look at it a little bit.
yep,
yeah.
Okay.
Have
let's do that, and then we can
58.
figure out what the workflow
Mhm.
changes would be and
Mhm.
what the real
Yeah.
benefit,
Mhm.
You
I-
have account 58,
Mhm.
which is simply the account that people have made donations to. And that one, you can do almost anything you want with it. Now that currently has $119,000 in it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You don't want to do anything with the operating accounts.
Mhm.
It just makes a big mess.
Mhm.
But you have 119,000 that you can use.
Mhm.
Now, some of that is the grant money, because that's where we store it and we pull it out. But if you eliminate the grant money, you can do what you want.
Okay,
Mhm.
And if we put that 1,000, 2,000, so take out the grants and roughly $110,000 of that account. If you put that in a money market account
Mhm.
at the rate that you're talking about, 3.5%, that's over $4,000.
Which
Boom,
we need.
profit, yeah. And then we could take money from the lodge account, leave that in the Bank of Millbrook in a CD. And we could take some of the Perkins money and maybe put that in an extended CD somewhere else that's a higher rate of return. That,
You're not
those are
gonna-
the numbers.
You're not gonna find a higher rate on a longer CD. The shorter CDs.
Yeah, I mean, when I say short, I mean
Yeah.
3 months
3
versus like
mhm.
7 months, because
Yeah.
that's been my research too. I
Yeah.
don't know why it's like that, but
It's frustrating. It's like.
that's great for our purposes,
yeah,
because
exactly.
then we have the money accessible in
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, 6 months instead of having it to need to be there for a year.
Right.
Is there any benefit to, moving, and maybe you already said this since I'm doing a little bit of multitasking here, moving all the money to US Bank except for the VFW, whoever it is, that money, like, would
Mhm.
they win?
You
the
speak
combi-
up.
With the combined
Okay.
accounts?
Kira, your voice wasn't picked up by.
Oh, I was
Ted.
just asking, maybe for you, Ted, and for Allison, if moving all of our money into one bank would behoove us in any way, because we'd have a combined balance that would be higher,
Mhm.
and then just leave the money that has to stay in
Mhm.
the Millbrook Bank in there,
Well, that's what I had said about, so
which sounds like what you do at work.
that's what we do at work. So we have like our we only pull from our endowment account as we need the money. So at the beginning of the year, we budget and we say, we're gonna need $2 million this year.
Mhm.
I pull monthly.
Right.
So I say, okay, this is what I'm expecting for the month.
Right.
So I move from, it's
Right.
with a whole nother firm and pull it into, and they deposit it into the Bank of Millbrook. So I do it month by month.
Mhm.
This is what I'm anticipating needing this month. It's pretty set. I mean, I think our budget here is pretty set as well. And whether that number is $20,000 a month, and you can set it on auto deposit, so you
right.
don't have to think about it. You can say every month I want to move $20,000 over, 25,000, whatever it is. And if it is more comfortable to have, and that goes into your operating. So the less money you have at the Bank of Millbrook, the more money you have at a higher yield, like you're just gonna be earning more money. I mean, yeah, it's, if we're looking at it, Ethan's right, it's almost $4,000
Yeah.
over the course of a year to have $100,000 sitting in that account. If you double that, that's $8,000. That's a lot
money
of
for us.
money. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and if we combined that with leave all the accounts the way they are, but
Mhm.
put the bulk of the emergency
Yeah.
account and the money that we get from the town into a high yield savings,
So that would be 266.
that's $266,000. And then you can pull from it as needed. And you're getting that
Mhm.
significantly higher, unequivocally significantly higher interest rate.
Mhm. That's $9,400. If we were to leave it there all year, you know, you're not gonna leave it there
Mhm.
all year, but
Right.
you'll pull it as you need it. But the other advantage of that is if you don't need it, if there's a month where you're under budget on things, you look at the next month and you say, hey, we were $5,000 under budget this month. I'm gonna adjust that for next month. It's just the more you can keep there, the more money you make, and
Mhm.
it just depends on everybody's comfort level with it too. I know,
Mhm.
you know, it's a change of, you know, having the bank not be right here and that's,
Right.
you know, you can't just go to a US bank down the street and talk to them or whatever, you know, you're gonna have to call a customer service and then you're also
Right.
gonna have to.
But I had a question. You still have your operating fund at the Bank of Millbrook?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so that's what, Ted, that would be important for us though, is right? So to
Yes.
have our operating fund here at the
There are
Bank of.
3 operating accounts,
Mhm.
okay, one, so. I see, I hear what you're saying,
Mhm.
but those 3 accounts, 2 of them are the checking, regular checking account.
Mhm.
Second one is the payroll account,
Mhm.
which constantly every month, obviously,
Mhm.
you have to pull for.
Mhm.
And then you have the one account which holds it all together.
Mhm.
So those 3 accounts really have to operate with each other.
Yeah.
As
So
I
you
said to
put you're talking, the third account is the one where you put the town money in?
right, that's
Okay,
the one that
which at some points is the largest account we
That's-
have.
That's account 19, 19.
That's 19.
Okay,
But if you look at 19, right now it only has $38,000 in it.
Right,
correct, yeah.
that's right. We're waiting. Yeah.
But the bulk of our expenditures come out of 89 and 79, correct? That's where everything
Right, the
gets
checking
drawn from.
account and the payroll account.
Yeah. And that and those two accounts are funded by.
19.
The town.
So
Yeah.
what
Yes.
you would do is instead of funding it from 19, you'd fund it from the high yield money market account. So it'd be the same thing, you just kind of switch the account to something that was paying a better interest rate. And so it's just a different way of doing it. You would still
Okay.
keep the checking account and the payroll account.
Okay, I
but-
don't think we're ready to
Yeah.
pull the plug on that or pull the trigger on this, so let's all like this has been a good conversation. I feel much more like in favor of this,
Mhm.
but let's really like sit and think about it
Okay.
some more. I'm
Mhm.
sorry to keep doing that. Because we haven't done the policy review yet as well. So let's do that, and then we'll see if there's new or old business
Okay.
that we need to address. So the two policies were
Going over the opioid,
the
Opioid.
opioid,
yeah,
yeah,
we just need, Patrick, did you?
I did not, and I'm not prepared to talk about the opioid overdose prevention policy for two reasons. One, I really dislike this Poughkeepsie policy. I don't think it's really clear. And I just I need some more education on this whole thing. So
okay.
Deanne, maybe I'll give you a call during the week and try to find out what you learned
Can-
about, how you were trained.
I underwent the training myself and I carried it. The New York State, I think, provides, it's the Samaritan
Yeah,
law or
Good
something.
Samaritan.
You're not allowed to be sued under New York State law for providing somebody with the naloxone or whatever, naloxone. If they are clearly ODing or appear to be ODing in your presence, you can do this and they can't sue you for that. That's my understanding.
Okay.
But we should
that's-
verify that.
Yeah, that's the kind
because-
of stuff I want to.
Because if we're gonna have it available in the library, it's the person who does it but we want to make sure the library is also not
Mhm.
at any risk for having staff who are doing that on site.
My only question in the language is about the library personnel specifically, because if somebody goes into cardiac arrest and goes and grabs the AED, do we have a policy on that that says it's only trained staff that are going to be using it? Or is it just up to the individual?
The Good Samaritan will clear you if you have not had training. But I think there's instructions on the box that tell you how to do it.
But because it's also publicly available, that wouldn't be, so I could go do it.
Right.
Yeah.
The naloxone is not public, we have it behind, it's not available, but
Okay,
yeah, it's not available except for staff, but we can do it. But did Jordan take the training yet, or?
I don't think she's had the opportunity
Yeah.
to, since she couldn't do it with you.
Yeah, we're just gonna, it's a 30-minute training, it's really, there's nothing to it, so. Yeah, they go into,
Yeah.
this is an amazing,
I thought it was publicly, like it would be in the, like you could put it in the AED box.
You
or
can.
could, but yeah.
you can,
Could
and some
do.
libraries do, but ours is behind the counter, behind the cert desk.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, Patrick, feel free to call me whenever you want and.
Okay.
Yeah,
talk
I
about it.
think I think you're right. We need it to be a little more explicit in the policy. that
Yeah.
we-
So we'll table that for the next time then. And then the second one was, has come up. It's,
Guidance.
yeah, this is, again, this is what a lot of libraries are asking about this because, the ice has been in the area, in Millbrook, in, Red Hook, and I believe Rhinebeck. So we just have a policy and, Poughkeepsie was kind enough to send us
Right.
theirs, so.
What
They,
I,
they misused the word regards twice, I might point out. My pet peeve.
Yeah.
there is a theme. So I'm curious, so ICE isn't the same thing as the coming in and looking at people's circulation records, or
Oh,
we are
no,
talking about
no.
that?
ICE can come in and ask about your personnel, about whether you have your I-9s in order. And they can do that, but they can also come in and look at people,
Look
you know,
at-
they
right.
can make arrests in here.
They can't, they have to have a warrant though, I think. I think it's a little more complicated than that.
I would agree. I mean, I definitely don't think we're in a place to vote on a policy about federal agents coming into um our facility. Because yeah, I don't know if a federal agent came in and said to the librarian, the director of the library, you know, show me that all of your people are citizens. I suspect you have no obligation to speak to them, but
You have
I
an
don't know.
obligation. Yeah, I can't
No,
imagine.
they have to have a warrant to look
Yeah.
at paperwork
Mhm.
and that, but for citizens or whoever is coming into this building are subject to arrests or detainment, whatever, based on their immigration status.
Right. But there's no, I mean, so what would it, how, I don't understand what the, and I know, you know, I'm on the, also work with, NECC, and this is a topic that's come up with them, because, of the clientele they serve are higher at risk than many. So I kind of want to pick some brains over there as well. But yeah, I mean, if the government, we're a public building, if government wants to come in and talk to a person, and ask them questions, I think that person needs to know what their rights are, but that has nothing to do with the library policy, right?
The other thing that we need to do is, and we have put a sign on our door, there's places that you can have privacy. So if for instance, our workroom back there, or the office space up there that we're going to be using for our language class, were being in use, we would shut the door and say private or staff only, or, you know, just private. And, agents cannot go in there without, and that's including in a public building. So that's,
Does that prohibit a federal agent acting on an arrest warrant?
No,
Not an arrest
I
warrant.
bet not.
So I would
But if-
recommend that we get in touch with Anthony Parisi and ask him who is the district attorney for Dutchess County. And Patrick and I know him, and I would recommend that we set up a call with him and ask him specifically what we can and cannot do.
That's a great idea. He'll put us in touch with the right person.
Okay, but he may be, this may be repeating something that Mid-Hudson's already done.
Okay,
So, and this is what we discussed at our DCLA or at our meeting on Thursday too. So we can pull guidance from Mid-Hudson because
Okay.
it's high.
Oh,
on the-
if there's
They're looking
if
at,
there's
they're talking to lawyers, yeah.
Yeah.
if there's Mid-Hudson guidance on this, we absolutely should look at it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
this is what Poughkeepsie had given us this because they're at a great deal of risk there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much more than we are.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
so.
Some of this looks correct, right? ICE may enter public portions of the library without a warrant. That makes sense to me. Library district may not release any information about patrons. That makes sense. But yeah, I want some more intel.
But the thing that they stressed most is we need to have a policy, because if something does happen and there is some sort of conflict, then
Yeah.
the police will say, where's your policy? What is your
Right.
policy? And then they will comply with whatever our policy is.
Right.
So that's what the motivation around getting
Yeah.
this done. is
And
just-
to be clear, to read this means it's a protection of the staff here, mostly,
Mostly.
that you're not obstructing or difficult to a process that may or may not be.
We will understand what the process is and we will adhere to
Yeah.
it. That is so we just need guidance.
That's the goal.
That's
Yeah.
the guidance, that we need. So that we understand what our position is, what their position is, what our legal rights is, what their legal rights are. So,
Don't you have an I-9 on all those people that work for the library?
we do, we have
Not the
I-9s
library,
that,
It's the people that are coming for the language classes
Yeah.
that are at risk.
Mhm.
yeah. There's some libraries that have staff that are at risk. We don't know. That was the other problem.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so we'll table these until next time.
But it's definitely important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I
so-
mean, I know the schools are exempt, ICE can't go into a school.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Anymore.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, you could see what the school's policy is too, but
Yeah.
that probably would
Not
not.
anymore.
That was rescinded. No, you can, they will access hospitals, public buildings, schools,
Churches.
churches.
Okay. Haven't read the news.
You're better off.
Okay, yeah, but we'll table this and be sure, Patrick, you can spend a little time thinking about this month.
Yep.
So
And
we
then maybe we
can,
have Anthony just review, maybe he could just, review it for us once we write it or something, Patrick.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that, and yeah, with both the opioid, like getting that clear and then this. Okay,
I have one question, sorry.
okay, now that you're,
Exempt employee comp time. This sample's been in my file for 6 months. Are we moving forward on this or am I shredding it?
PTO, we've I need to make sure the paperwork's all done with GTM. I finally got it settled with them. I think we're set on it, so with
I think we have PTO is set, but I think we were still fuzzy on comp time for you and for me. So
And that's
Yeah.
what this was.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
I think
Oh,
comp time we still have to sort out. I think I have also a framework in the handbook we're putting together,
okay,
so I think we should
Well,
firm that
So we
up.
can
Yeah.
have this on next month. Or the month after, or the month after. I'll keep it. That's my
Okay.
point.
is there any new business that we need to address?
No.
No.
About, yes,
Yes, what,
we talked about the sign costs.
Mhm.
But I haven't seen a bill.
you paid.
we put it on the credit
It
card,
was on the credit card. It came out this last month as $1,080, I think, or something like that.
Okay, and then where am I supposed to get the money from?
I believe we said the lodge account.
Okay, can somebody make a motion on that?
So made.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Okay,
we've done that already, but, okay, yeah,
For the comp time, just to add to that, eventually when we get there, we'll have to look at the New York State laws. I've always been told it's kind of one of those, like, you just don't talk about it.
I don't know.
Because New York State laws say you have to use it within, like, so in Massachusetts, it's illegal to take comp time. Salaried employees can't take comp time, apparently. I learned this from an accountant that I was doing a business investment with.
I took weeks and weeks of vacation at one
And
point.
apparently there's new laws that say
Yeah.
in Massachusetts now you
Mm.
can't take comp time because people would abuse it and they would withhold, weeks and weeks of comp time and then use them in
Right.
like a month at a time.
Right.
Yeah,
So just, we should look at what the New York State laws are. I think that there's something about you have to use it within the same pay period. So if you're gonna put a policy together, it's like, do you put a
Really?
policy together or do
be
you
hard.
not?
Do
put
you
a policy
just-
Yeah.
together?
Had a policy for making sure you used it within, I think it was 2 months of earning it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
something like
Uh,
that, that
should
we used
we'll
to,
check.
yeah, I
Yeah.
used to,
40 hours for 2 months.
Mhm.
2 months, yeah.
So I would just look into what the New York State laws are, but that's one of those policies that I was always told, skip it. Unfortunately, and just,
Don't abuse it.
don't abuse it, yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's one of those unwritten policies and don't abuse it. Same with carryover time for vacation and stuff like that.
It's hard to, it is hard to track, but the PTO has been a pain to get sorted out
Yeah.
with GTM, but I think we're almost there,
Okay,
Mhm.
almost there. I don't think we're not quite there yet.
okay, so no old, no new, we're good? Should we a motion to adjourn? I will motion to adjourn. Will somebody second it?
Second.
Allison seconding it. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
My trustee education page